Hello students, good morning everyone. Today we are going to study unit 1 of compiler design. This is the first lecture. In your first year you have already studied about the compiler and interpreter definition. So we will start with the compiler definition. We all know you have been doing C language and you have compiled the program. So compiler is what? We all know it is a computer program that transforms source code written in a programming language into another computer language called as the target language. What it does, important role of the compiler is to report any errors in the source program that it detects during the translation process. We all know that it compiles the whole program at a time. That means it will compile the whole program and then it will report the errors if it is over there. What does interpreter do? It compiles or interprets line by line. So as you can see in this slide, an interpreter reads the source code, an instruction or line at a time, converts this line into machine code and executes it. So we talk about the difference between compiler and interpreter. The main difference, as we all know, that interpreter and compiler is that compilation requires analysis and the generation of machine code only once. So it will compile the whole program and then it will give you the error reporting if it is there only once. Whereas interpreter, what it does, an interpreter may need to analyze and interpret the same program statements each time it meets. That means it does line by line, one by one. Once the error is removed, then it goes to the next line. For example, instructions appearing within a loop. Also, there are more differences. A compiler converts the higher level instruction into machine language, while an interpreter converts the higher level instruction into an intermediate form. So minor difference is there between the machine language and intermediate form. Later on, as we proceed with the compiler course, we'll understand what is the difference between machine language and intermediate form. And one more difference is there. Before execution, entire program is executed by the compiler, as we have been saying since beginning, whereas after translating the first line, an interpreter then executes it and so on. So it does line by line. Some more errors are given. Difference is given. List of errors is created by the compiler after the compilation process, while an interpreter stops translating after the first error. So this is what we have been saying since beginning, that compiler compiles the whole program and it gives the errors list, whereas interpreter stops translating after the first error. Next point, if we see, an independent executable file is created by the compiler, whereas interpreter is required by an interpreted program each time. So in compiler, what do we find? Independent executable file is created, whereas in interpreter we see that it is required by an interpreter is required by an interpreted program each time. One more difference is given. Compiler produces object code, whereas interpreter does not produce object code. So we have been learning the basic part, the difference between compiler and interpreter. Now we will see the language processing system. What it means, the language means over here the computer languages, which will give how it is processed. So we will require some preprocessor, compiler will be there, linker will be there. We will see. So what it is saying, the very first point if we see, it is saying that a source program may be divided into modules stored in separate files. The task of collecting the source program is sometimes entrusted to a separate program called a preprocessor. If you remember, in C language we have been doing hash include stdio.h, hash include conio.h. What is this hash include actually? This is nothing but a preprocessor directive. What it does, we are trying to include the header file stdio, standard input output, into our program which we are trying to run or compile. So this is one part that we require while processing the language. Then what, in the second point, what it is said, the modified source program is then fed to a compiler. After the source program is modified, because let's say you are writing 10 lines, but your source program is having, let's say, 500 lines. What about 490 lines which you are getting extra? It is nothing but the header file lines which you have included in your program. This is then fed to the compiler. The compiler, what it does, it may produce an assembly language program as its output, as we can see over here, because assembly language is easier to produce its output and is easier to debug. So very simple, compiler, what it does, it produces a assembly language program. Then after we get assembly language, machine does not understand assembly language. It has to be converted again into the machine language. So who converts that? It is the assembler. Compiler converts the high level language into assembly language. Assembler converts the assembly language into machine language, as we can see over here in this point. The assembly language is then processed by a program called an assembler that produces relocatable machine code as its output. All these are what? System softwares, whether be it compiler, interpreter, assembler, all the linker, loader, all these are what? System softwares which is required while processing a language, computer language rather. Then next point, what we have, the linker resolves external memory addresses. What is the function of linker? It will link to the external memory addresses where the code in one file may refer to a location in another file if it is required. We have seen many times while doing the program that linker problem is there. Okay, let's say you have not written hash include stdio.h and you are using scanf or printf. It is a linker problem. It won't be able to link. Okay. What it does, then we have loader. Loader, what it does, as the name suggests, the loader then puts together all of the executable object files into memory for execution. All the necessary files will be loaded into the memory for execution by the loader. You are trying to run a program. While running a program, we need several things. We need memory requirements, we need preprocessor directives, we need compiler, we need some more other functions, libraries and all these part of bringing all together at one platform into a memory is done by the loader. Okay, this has been depicted in a picture which we can see over here. The source program with macros. Macros is what? Hash define, hash include, all these are your macros. It is source program with macros is your preprocessor. Then we give the source program which is fed to the compiler. Then compiler converts it into target assembly program which is then fed to the assembler. Assembler, what it does, it creates a relocatable machine code. Then relocatable machine code, what it does, it uses linker or loader to make the necessary arrangements, and then finally we get absolute machine code which is our target program. This is our source program and this is our target program which finally is run by the computer. So whatever we learned, this is your language processing system. First is your preprocessor, then we have compiler, then we have assembler, then we have linker, then we have linker or loader combined together. Finally we get the absolute machine code. Okay. Now Since first year we have been learning there is a compiler, we have been using compiler in C language, but here in this subject we are supposed to study about the internal details of a compiler. What it does, what it comprises of, how it will function, what are the things associated in a compiler to compile a particular program. So the basic structure we will talk about. What it is, we'll think it as a box. How? Compiler is a box wherein you put in the source program and then it processes, the compiler processes, and then it gives you output as the target program. Source program is nothing but a high level language and target program is a machine language. So this is what it said over here. Up to this point we have treated a compiler as a single box, which I was talking about just now, that maps a source program into a semantically equivalent target program. If we open up this box a little, we see that there are two parts to this mapping. Now we are going inside into the box, and here we have said two things about the structure of a compiler. When we talk about the structure of a compiler, it comprises of two things. One is the analysis part and another is the synthesis part. So we will learn one by one what it is. Well, this is very important as far as the examination is concerned, and also in order to understand the basic structure of a compiler. In the analysis part, what it does, it breaks up source program into pieces and imposes a grammatical structure. Okay. So what it will do, you may not observe all these things while compiling a program. You have never seen, when you are doing your C programming, you have never seen that how it breaks up the source program into pieces and imposes a grammatical structure. But when it gives you an error, then you can understand, yes, it has done something. Okay. If there is no error, then also it will show you a message box that it is a success. That means compiler is doing something in the background. How it is doing something in the background, that is what we are talking about. In the analysis part, what it does, it breaks up the source program into several pieces. We will understand. Later on we will come up how it breaks into pieces, what are those pieces, how it is analyzed, how it is translated, how it is converted, how it is done. All these we will try to understand. Then after breaking up the source program into pieces, what it does, it creates intermediate representation, also in short form we say IR, of source program. This is very important, intermediate representation. After breaking up the source program into pieces, it creates an intermediate representation. Okay, that means it is not the final result. Source program is the input, target program is the final result or the output. Intermediary results are called as intermediate representation. Okay, wherein the intermediate representation will be treated as input for processing and to get the target program. Then what it does after that, determines the operations and records them in a structure called as syntax tree. Okay, you have learnt in your automata parse tree, okay, or syntax tree. So here also we will do the same thing. After bringing into the intermediate representation of source program, what it does, it determines the operations and records what the program is going to do, and it forms a syntax tree. It records them in a structure. That structure is called as a syntax tree. One more name is given to the analysis. This is called as the front end of a compiler. This you have to remember, which is called as the front end, which is called as the back end. Analysis is called as the front end of the compiler. So if I summarize, it is nothing but what it does, the compiler in the analysis part, what it does, it breaks up the source program into pieces, creates an intermediate representation, then determines the syntax tree, wherein by syntax tree what do we observe? The operations and records in a structural form. Also it is called as the front end of the compiler. Obviously, if we talk about synthesis, it will be called as the back end of the compiler, because since there are only two parts, if one is front end, then another will be called as back end. What it does in synthesis, if you go by the term analysis and synthesis, you will be able to understand more. Analysis means to analyze things, and synthesis means to construct or to form or to what you can say is to execute, you can say rather. So what it does, constructs target program from intermediate representation. In analysis part we used to construct intermediate representation, and here what we are doing, from intermediate representation we are going to construct the target program. That means we are proceeding towards the final result. And that syntax tree part, what it does, it takes the syntax tree structure and translates the operations into the target program. The executable target program, whatever you can say, or the machine language, it converts that syntax tree into the machine language. So once again, if I summarize, analysis is called as the front end, synthesis is called as the back end. In analysis, the source program is broken into pieces and converted to intermediate representation and recorded in the form of a syntax tree. In synthesis, what it is done, that intermediate representation is constructed to or converted to target program by using that syntax tree structure, and translates into the assembly language or the machine language as the target program. So very basic thing. So now if I draw the diagram, or if I try to make you understand, this is the source program, for example. Now what it is doing, it is going to the analysis part, forget about compiler, then it is going to the synthesis part, and finally you are getting the target program. Till now this was your single box called as compiler. Okay, so this is the breaking up. Further, the analysis part will be broken up further, the synthesis part will also be broken up further. So this is all what we have in this particular lecture. I hope you have understood. If you have any query, you can talk to me. Thank you so much.